So imagine Hiram Bingham was an archaeologist. He came from the United States. Okay, he was a professor over there, and when he came to South America, he came following a commercial route, right? But in his way, arriving in Cusco or Peru, he heard a lot of stories about Inca treasures, lost city of the Incas, mystery of the Incas, and he got very interested and he started to do some research. He was researching, trying to find more information, talking with the professors, at the local university in Cusco, and then, he got the support of the local municipality of Cusco as well, and then later, he started his expedition. He started his expedition from Ollantaytambo, the place that we've been, the 22nd of July 1911. So it guess how long it took for him to find this place.
No idea. 2 years.
2 years? No, 2 days.
What?
2 days. The 22nd he started his expedition, the 23rd he arrived at the other place, actually 22nd at night arrived at that place, 23rd there is a mountain here in the backside, on the bottom there is family living, and when he arrived there, the people were expecting to him as well. And when he asked, about any Inca sites around here, and the people, locals, say, yeah, sure, it's up there. And the day of the 24th, 1911, after 4 hours climbing, he was here, he arrived here, but when he arrived, another family was living here and they were actually farming over here, all right? And was one of these kids, who took him inside of Machu Picchu in a kind of tour, showing the sights. And Hiram Bingham got very impressed, by this place. Wow, what's the name of this place? And the locals say, ruins. They are ruins. No, but what's the name? Must have a name. No, they are just ruins. And then later, Hiram Bingham, he looked up at the mountain. We have a big mountain up there. And he asked, so what's the name of that mountain? So that mountain had a name. And the name of that mountain was Machu Picchu. And because all these buildings are in the same mountain, they name after Machu Picchu, right? But the real name, still no one knows. Anyway, Hiram Bingham, he was very, very interested, walk around, explore. But then later he said, it's nice, but it's not what I'm looking for. Because in the lost city of the Incas must be all the treasures, and it's none here. And after 2 hours exploring this place, he left. He continued the valley, following, the same way to the Inca Trail to the jungle. And for sure, yeah, he found more Inca sites. He was exploring for 3 more months. But he found other Inca sites, but none of them better or more impressive than Machu Picchu. That's why he had to go back to Cusco, back to the States. He needed to get some money, so he got the support of National Geographic and the Yale University. And next day came back here, and he starts his expedition here from 1912 to 1915. In these 4 years, he found here about 165 human bodies. Okay, skeletons. 60% of them in all this area. Another 30% in the lower part, and the last 10% inside of the city. Right? So then later, they were trying to figure out what happened with this place, What's the story about Machu Picchu? Where is the people? What was the function? Who built it? How old it is? And then came the first hypothesis. So the team of Hiram Bingham was very small. Okay, only 10 people, who were specialists, and the rest of the people, his big crowd, were locals, which didn't have any experience in excavation or anything. And actually, they did a lot of damage to this place because he offered, to pay like the one sol, which at the time was 3 times a daily salary, for somebody who will find something interesting. All right. So a lot of locals, with the idea to get some money, they start digging everywhere. And you know, if you wanna do an excavation, you have to do properly, right?
Yes.
So it wasn't like that. So they destroyed a lot of these things. But anyway, they found a lot of this stuff, mainly these bones, mainly ceramic over here. Okay, no gold, no silver, no treasures, right? Anyway, they have an osteology over there who made the studies of the bones that were found here, of the bodies. And this guy, he said, people in Machu Picchu were 80% women and 20% men. Why? Because their bones, they look small, they look fragile. And he said, oh, more women. And then Hernan, he created his first hypothesis, you know, saying that Machu Picchu was the witches of the sun, you know, the virgins of the sun, something like that. But we had that theory until 30 years ago, all right? But then later they did another test to these bones, because now we have better technology and everything, right? And they find out that the people who were living here were 50-50. They were not actually 80% women. So the mistake in the past, yeah, technology was different, and basically they just, you know, classified these bones by their size, thinking like the people, the Incas were tall, when it wasn't. And also they look fragile because the people who were living here were not the builders, were the people who were living here, you know. Anyway, so how many people live here at the time? There are 112 rooms here. Some of them 1 floor, some of them 2 floors, right? Some of them wider, some of them narrower, right? But according to the number of these rooms and the size of them, they were living here between 500 to 600 people only, no more than that. Okay, 500 to 600 people. Now the question is, where is that people? What happened with the people, you know? So there are another hypothesis that it says, you know, when the people who were living here, they hear about the Spanish, they were destroying their temples, you know, killing their people, probably they decided to take everything with them and move into the jungle. All right. Another hypothesis, it says probably Machu Picchu was abandoned even before the arrival of the Spanish, when some people were getting like kind of weird diseases, because one of the kings, one of the Incas, actually died for a kind of a strange disease, you know, which could it be the chicken pox or could it be a flu, which was imported, you know, by the Spanish, and that's why, you know, some people did die and then say, okay, let's go somewhere else safe, all right? Or they just, you know, decided to abandon this place because the kingdom was in a war and there were not more supplies for here. Because this place, 500 people, they need to eat lots. 500 people every day, they need to eat. And most of the food in order to supply this place comes from the Sacred Valley and from the jungle, you know. If they didn't have those supplies, well, it's the point on living here, you know, it would be difficult. So I decided to abandon the place. So far, any question?
I'm good.
Okay. So, why they built, what was the function of this place, you know? Still today no one knows, but there is one hypothesis that I like better, you know, there are many for sure. One of them will say the Incas, they had a place, you know, I talked to you yesterday or before about these teaching places, teaching houses, we call it yachayhuasis, right? Imagine, again, the Inca kingdom, you know, when they were expanding, they found different other tribes, but all of them, they spoke different language, right? All of them, they had leaders, because the leaders, they took, you know, control of their own populations. Everyone, doesn't matter how small or big was the other groups, they had a leader. So, and I also told you that the Incas, they used to practice the arranged marriage, all right? So one of the things that the Incas used to do is they will, in order to join them, the leaders, by arranging marriage or by giving presents to them, or even by fighting, but they're gonna defeat them and they're gonna have their leaders as well. So they're gonna join all these leaders together in one place, and all these leaders, they'll be sent to a specific place. All right? In this specific place, the Incas, they will teach first language. All right? Imagine our official language now is Spanish, right? In the Incas' time was Quechua. And the kingdom, was so big, northern part Peru and Ecuador, southern part Argentina and Chile, But if you go to these places after 500 years after the Spanish, they tried to kill our culture, on those remote places, people still today speak Quechua. How they learn, where, by who. They needed a special place. So the idea was to have this place, where all these new people, high-class people, first they're gonna learn the language, and then they're gonna learn any knowledge that the Incas might want to share with them. And it will be the same. If some of these groups, they will have any knowledge or any interesting things, they will share as well with the Incas. They will exchange knowledge, right? And as a kind of university, after, I don't know how long time, 1, 2, 5, 10 years, after they learned the language properly, after they learned the knowledge that they share together, they will go back to their own towns with the idea to teach these other groups what the Incas, what they had. All right? That was probably the function of this place. That's why this place is so isolated. They can have a lot of concentration, right? And also we say that because we have an area in the right side where we have big rooms that we call industrial area, but where they work probably basically like classrooms. Right? We had that. Now, so I would say Machu Picchu was like kind of university, Inca university. All right? So there is a question about if the Spanish, they arrived here or not. The official version, you will hear all the guys here, they will say, no way, they haven't been here. Why we say that? Because when Hernan being arrived here, right, or still today, this place is 80% of Machu Picchu still natural, still intact. Wasn't destroyed, there is not a church here, right? That's why people say, the Spanish have never been here. That's the official version. But my opinion is, they've been here,
Why do you think that?
First, because how long it took for Hernan to find this place? 2 days.
Oh, right.
Right? The locals, they knew about this place. Right? Actually, when I was here, once I was here with my group, and I was like today, this lot of children coming here and say, oh, why is impressive this place? Just pile stones. Because locals, we grew up with this. We haven't done much travel, and we think everywhere we can find sites like this. Imagine if I would born here seeing this, and then, I don't know, tomorrow I go explore with my friends and I find another place like this, probably bigger, I won't be impressed, I say, okay, yeah, it's all right. Besides, also, I won't find anyone interested to tell, hey, I found an Inca site, and the people say, what,
They're everywhere.
Yeah, because they don't realize that these type of places are unique, and for sure locals, they were over here. We have 5 Inca trails that they get here, not the only one. We have that way in the back of there, from the bus is coming up, it's another Inca trail. The 5 Inca trails, they arrive here, all right? And for sure, if, when Hernan, and that was in the 1900s, he heard about the treasures of the Incas, don't you think also in the colonial time they were looking for this place? And then you can say, yeah, they've been looking, but they were looking down there, right? And they never thought that they were up there, up here. No, wrong, because again, the most important places that the Incas had were on top of the hills. Why I'll be looking down there for an important city, for a golden city?
Right.
And for
And
sure,
if it had like 5 trails,
yeah,
they're going to find one of them at least, right?
yeah, you know, and hundreds of people, they've been looking for this place, and they knew somewhere in the jungle. And from here, for example, if we just take the train track from Ollantaytambo to here, we have at least 12 big Inca sites. You just follow those, you will find this place. Along the big Inca trail, there are more Inca sites. If you go that way, there are Inca sites. It's not like, we are so far away from everything, not really. So, and in 500 years, people, they eventually found this place, or in the 300 years that the Spanish have been here, probably they arrived here. And they will say, okay, so the Spanish arrived here, that's fine. So why they didn't destroy this place? Why there is not a church here? For the same reason that I told you. This place, it wasn't like a supply.
Self-sustaining?
Self-sustaining,
Okay.
It wasn't like that. So it depends from other places. As soon they didn't send anything, from this place collapsed. And when the Spanish arrived here, maybe they probably were still living some people. And what the Spanish they did is before they take everything that was valuable for them, and then all the people who were living here, they were sent to work in the mines for them in order to get more gold or silver. Or just when the Spanish arrived here, they just probably move already. Why is not a church here? Again, if it's not people, it's not self-sustainable.
Self-sustainable, right.
It's not self-sustainable. It's no point on building a church. It's gonna cost me to maintain this place with people, right? And the Spanish didn't want that. That's why they didn't destroy this. And also, why they didn't destroy this? Because also the Spanish, they knew that this is the high jungle. Here, every single day, we have people, not only these guardians, but we have people every day just cleaning, every single stone here. You see on the walls? All the grass, everything, they have to clean. That's why we have llamas, in order to keep short the grass. Because if they don't do that, this place in 5 years disappears again, because the forest grows quick.
Right.
The Spanish, they knew that, it's not a secret. And probably they say, just leave it like that. The same nature will destroy this, will disappear this place. And I believe, in my opinion, that's my opinion, that they have been here.
But they just didn't see the value here where they found value in other places instead.
Yeah, that's the thing,
And they were looking for gold.
And that's the only thing, they
That's
were
what
not
they-
interested on right, yeah, I found this place. No, they were just
No, they wanted gold and
interested in
silver.
that's it. All right?
Yeah.
Any question